Oh, have you ever told yourself, I'll just figure this out for the eighth time this quarter? Or have you ever caught yourself saying, it's just faster if I do it about something you know you should have handed off 3 weeks ago? This is for you. Because asking for help, it isn't a weakness. It's a skill that no one taught high performing women to use, myself included. So I'm not here to judge you, okay? You were not trained to ask for help. You were trained to handle it. Come on. And those two are not the same skill set. This is exactly what I mean when I talk about doing a 360 shift in how you lead yourself. Not working harder, not quitting, but changing the language you use the moment the load gets heavier for the role. Why don't you ask for help? Most of the women that I work with are brilliant at asking for help on behalf of someone else. A direct report, no problem. I will move mountains for you, right? Up here, let me introduce you to three executives in a single email, or let me BCC you. But me? Silence, right? Like, it's so hard to ask for help. And let me tell you why. For most of your career, being the one who handles it, that was your brand. And it got you noticed. It got you promoted. It got you that seat at the table. Asking for help feels like it would unbrand you. In fact, type brand in the comments because we want to shift the way that we brand ourselves. Like the room would suddenly look at you and say, "Oh, I guess she can't actually do this if we ask for help," right? That fear, it's not in your head. It really isn't. You have been rewarded your entire career for not needing help. The problem is that reward, it only looks at altitude. The higher you climb, the bigger the work, the more the cross-functional projects, the more cross-functional touch points, the more not asking for help becomes the thing that breaks you. No one told you the rules changed. No. They just keep handing you bigger problems and assuming that you'll figure it out alone because that's what you do. The same way you always have figured it out. I was in an FP&A role, financial planning and analysis, and I needed to pull together all the inputs from these other teams, have the answers for anything that looked off, put it in a deck to present to leadership and present it to leadership. And that was supposed to take a team, not just me, a team. Now, my team did what they could, but I was drowning and I didn't ask for help. How could I ask my boss for help when I'm the one that's supposed to be presenting to leadership and spoon feeding him the insights that he didn't see? I was so exhausted looking for something that was off. Uh, I couldn't do it because I was stuck on 2 plus 2. And it wasn't because help wasn't available. It's because I had no idea how to ask for help in a way that didn't feel like I was admitting that I couldn't handle it. So what did I do? I worked through 3 weekends. I delivered that deck. I did. And I got the praise. And I quietly resented every person who didn't notice what it cost me. Now that's not a workload problem. That is a script problem. And this is your first 360 shift. I want you to shift from I need help, I'm overwhelmed to I need a decision, here are the trade-offs. Okay, so what does that look like? I want to flag that this deliverable, this project at the standard you and I both expect, to deliver that, I need either another resource, I need an extension, or I need coverage. Or without that, what can I deliver instead? Like, what version do you want? Do you want a 3 slide deck or do you want a 5 slide straw man? Now, let me tell you why this works. You're not asking to be rescued. You are asking your manager to decide. You are positioning yourself as someone who thinks in trade-offs, not someone who collapses under the load. It signals I'm not at the limit or my capacity. I am the one who is very, very clearly aware of what I can deliver and what quality I can commit to. Leaders respect that distinction. If you've ever delivered something at quality and the only person who knew what it cost you was you, I want you to type in cost in the comments, because often we overlook the cost and we expect everyone else to know. Most high performing women treat asking a peer as if it was imposing, like, oh, I'm bothering them. Meanwhile, guess what your peer did? They asked you for help 11 times this quarter, and you said yes every time. The imbalance is not in their head, right? The imbalance is actually in what you're giving. The imbalance is in your ask muscle. How about this script? I'm working through this project right now, and I love your eyes on this specific piece for 20 minutes. You've navigated it before, and I trust your read. Would Tuesday or Thursday work better? You see how we're asking our peer for some guidance? This specific 20 minutes, one piece, one name topic, it positions you as an expert, not someone who needs to be rescued. And most peers actually enjoyed it, right? They can give a 2 yes or 2 no or an open-ended yes. It removes the emotional weight. You're not asking them to fix you. You're asking them to do what they're already good at. Vague asks, they're emotionally expensive. Oh, can we talk? Just by asking it that way, you make it sound like a burden. Specific asks, those are professionally cheap, okay? 20 minutes on the pricing model. Tuesday feels like a calendar invite. Learn to ask cheaply, okay? Let me give you one more script that is really helpful in circumstances like this. Like when you're the one hoarding the work, like I have all this work on my plate. This is the script that senior women avoid the most, and it's the most powerful. They avoid it because delegating feels like dumping. And I've been there, because you remember how it felt when someone dumped on you and you don't want to do it. You don't want to dump on them. So what do? You carry it instead. And then you wonder why your team isn't growing or why your family doesn't recognize you anymore, because you're never there. The answer is you. You are accidentally training them to wait. All of your peers, all the people you work with. Are you ready for the script? You know what? I would like for Sarah to own this LE process going forward. Here's the context, and here's what done well looks like. Here's the deadline, and I'm available if you hit the wall. You're not asking for help. You are transferring ownership, which is a completely different muscle. You're giving that person enough context to succeed and enough autonomy to grow. You are removing yourself as the decision maker, the default decision maker. You are reclaiming the time that should have been protected weeks ago. Delegation isn't asking for help, it is redistributing what was never supposed to be one person's job. You can't scale yourself by being the only one who gets it. The leaders who scale are the ones who learn to make other people get it too. And here's the bigger picture. These scripts, they're not about getting out of work. They're about giving yourself permission. You don't need permission. You need language. Okay. We're going from, I'll just do it myself. What's the trade-off if I don't? I don't want to bother, to a specific ask is a gift, not a burden. They won't do it as well as I will. They will do it eventually if I let them learn. Ooh, how does that sound? How does that land? It sounds differently. You're starting to hear the shift. And that's the 360. You stop carrying and you start deploying, right? So this week, I want you to pick one of these 3 scripts and use it once. Not in a perfect moment, not after you've prepared a 10-page brief. Just use it because you're not failing. Someone told me this week, fail is like first attempt in learning, right? You're not failing. You are learning how to stand up for yourself, how to delegate differently, how to show up differently. You're operating without a vocabulary that you were never given. So now when you have this vocabulary and now you have the script, it takes time to practice it and to shift. The second the vocabulary changes, the workload changes with it. And that's the 360. I know you want to learn more about this 360 that I'm talking about. Take the visibility versus value quiz as the first step, and then we'll get you to the 360 because it is a whole, it walks through my entire framework to help you move from being stuck to actually transforming. But we got to take some baby steps first. So I want you to try that visibility versus value quiz. It's in the description.